You're listening to the Deranged Nation, a true crime podcast featuring New York Times best-selling paranormal romance author and your host, Teresa Gableman.
Hey guys, we're back with Deranged Nation, and we are on episode 8.
What's up?
Hey,
Welcome back.
What's going on, everybody?
So I know you guys are doing amazing with listening to us, and we appreciate it. I know we have some new people coming on, and I think I've introduced everybody like one time. So I'm Teresa.
I'm Cody.
I'm Helena.
And I'm Ron.
Yeah. So that's
Welcome.
It's us. It is us. So we're doing actually Cody and Helena found this one, and we watched on Amazon Prime. It's Devil Unchained, and the filmmaker and investigative reporter Maria, is it Oz?
Yes.
Aws? How do you say her last name? Awes.
Awes?
Yeah.
Alls.
Oz.
She was pretty awesome.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she
was
got
great.
a lot of good content.
Yeah, so this is mostly what we watched, and then we all kind of went online, found some more stuff, so it's a pretty interesting case. But it's Todd Kohlhepp is his name. He was born March 7th, which is...
It's my birthday.
That's your birthday.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Yikes.
Do you guys know each other?
No. Never met Todd.
So he was born
Todd and Ron.
Todd and Ron.
Yeah, but he's like 10 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit younger than you.
Just saying.
But anyway, he was born March 7th, 1971. And he...
By the way, I got a birthday coming up, so if you want to send me a gift or something, that'll be fine.
Happy birthday. So... yeah, you threw me on that one. He's an American serial killer.
Maybe you'll get a foot.
Ew. Yeah, you guys will understand that in a minute. That's disgusting. He's an American serial killer and mass murderer convicted of murdering seven people in South Carolina between the years 2003 and 2016.
Which he claims to be inaccurate and says there's a lot more.
Yeah. So his early life, there was so many red flags. He was born, and we said his birth date, in Florida. He was raised in South Carolina and Georgia. His parents divorced when he was 2 years old, and his mother, who got custody of him, married another man the following year.
His stepdad was abusive to him, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Reports found that Todd had an unhealthy relationship with his stepfather and often wanted to live with his biological father, whom he had not seen in 8 years. I think he actually got his mom to agree, and his stepdad to agree, because he was taking a hammer,
busted up all his furniture.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because she said he couldn't go because she had just bought him new bed furniture.
Yeah, and he took a hammer to it.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. So, Todd was described as a troublesome child. In nursery school, he was known to be aggressive toward other children and would destroy their property. At the age of 9, when he started undergoing counseling, Todd was described as being explosive and preoccupied with sexual content. He also displayed cruelty to animals, shooting a dog with a BB gun, and I'd like to, shove that BB gun somewhere. But he actually said, that wasn't me, that was a neighbor. He never took...
Right.
He never said he did that.
And he normally claimed the stuff that he did do.
Well, he had a dog,
happily.
too, so.
Yeah,
I don't know if I believe that. I mean, even that FBI profiler, John Douglas, we'll talk a little more about in a minute. He even said he didn't really believe... He believed Todd saying that was the neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Who did that instead, and it wasn't him.
So what do you think? Because he also said he killed a goldfish with Clorox bleach, but his excuse was he was, I can't remember.
Cleaning the tank in a hurry. And
because his mom said he couldn't go anywhere unless he cleaned out the fish tank.
So he put a little bit of Clorox bleach in there, and And
right.
Was his mom?
I don't know.
Goldfish are weird.
At that age, too, because how young was he? Like, between what? Like 9 and 12, maybe? At the time?
He was 9.
Was he 9 when that happened? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, at that age, he was probably like, oh, I can probably just do that real quick and make it look clean and smell clean.
Right.
Goldfish are fucked up, though. Because, like, I got 2 in the yard. Survived, like... Never fed them. Been there for like 5 years.
You haven't fed your gold.
I don't have to. No. I mean, they're big. They're plump. They've had babies. I mean, shit. And then you put them in a tank and
they were out
might be
today
because
of the sun too.
I mean, I don't know. Goldfish are weird. You know, so that may not even have been his fault. It might have just been at Goldfish's
surviving off
day,
muck. I think.
Right.
You know, the Clorox probably didn't help the process.
No, I'd say not. His father later said the only emotion his son was capable of was anger. Todd spent 3.5 months in a Georgia psychiatric hospital as an inpatient because of his inability to get along with other children. So, I mean, that would have to be pretty... They don't really go into a lot. I couldn't find a lot of detail on exactly how bad, and what he did when he was in school. But I don't know. It's weird.
Well, here soon he doesn't really have much of a childhood.
No.
After what happens next,
right?
Yeah.
So eventually, in 1983, Todd was sent to live with his biological father in Arizona after his mother and stepfather separated. He took his father's surname and began working at a number of the local jobs. He also inherited his father's hobby of collecting weapons, which is going to be a big thing here later, and was taught by him to blow things up and make bombs. Great dad.
Well, and from the interviews we saw, his dad.
Anything wrong with that?
His dad
Me and Cody used to blow shit up with guns.
Yeah.
Todd's
we still do.
Was a lot different than what his dad said, though. His dad owned his own business. He kept him in his sights at all times, from what he said. But Todd said that he left him alone.
Yeah. Well,
that's why he was so mean and neglectful and all this stuff now.
Well, and it did say in the documentary, and I seen this online, that even though they had that in common, the relationship deteriorated due to his father's absence because of a number of girlfriends. So Todd wanted to go back to, live with his mom, but she made excuses to keep him at the father's. So, his upbringing was iffy at best, and I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what we're seeing. 1987, November 25th, 1986, 15-year-old Todd kidnapped a 14-year-old girl in Tempe, Arizona. He threatened her with a .22 caliber revolver, brought her back to his home, tied her up, taped her mouth shut, and raped her. Afterwards, he walked her home and threatened to kill her younger siblings if she told anyone about what had happened. He was charged with the kidnapping, sexual assault, and committing a dangerous crime against children.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, hold on. The cop.
Because that's not the way the documentary
said
it happened. The cops actually showed up at her house while she was at his house being raped.
Her little brother.
Well, yeah, that's what she's saying, but it's just not in much detail. No, basically, he walked up to the door, he knocked on the door, and he said, "Hey, somebody that's really cute that you think's really cute is out here around the fence. They want to talk to you." She said, "I'm not coming outside. I can't. I got my little sister and brother in here. I'm babysitting." And then she closes the door. He's very persistent. He's like yelling through the door. He keeps knocking on it. She opens it and she's just like, "Screw it, I'll go outside." Walked around the fence with him, and as soon as she walked around that fence, he pulled the revolver out and he put it to the back of her head and told her to keep walking. Right. She didn't have shoes on.
We're talking about when the cops showed
we're
up.
not there yet.
No,
I mean,
listen.
I'm just
So as they're walking, she said it was about a 10-minute walk from. It felt that way anyway, something along the lines of that. She could see the lights through the window whenever they were inside of his home.
The cop lights.
Yes. Yeah. And then they made an agreement because he was like, "I have to kill you." Like, it's because he had raped her and everything. he's like, I have to kill you. I don't have a choice. And she was like, no, I'll tell him this. And then he was like, no. And then she's like, well, I'll tell him we were looking for a dog. And he believed that she would do that. He said, I'll kill your brother and your sister and your mother and everybody if you tell them otherwise.
So he let her go.
Yeah.
He let her go.
She lied at first.
But then her father...
She lied to the cops and said that they were looking for a dog. Because she was terrified. And then later on, her
father
dad asked,
knew. Yeah. He said, did he do things to you? And she admitted it. Yeah. She said, yeah. So in 1987, Todd pleads guilty of the kidnapping charge, and the other charges were dropped. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison and had to register as a sex offender. And he was tried as an adult. So he was in an adult prison at 15 years old.
Yeah, and then there was a cop, too. Remember the cop that told her story about how she walked up to his door? After the assault was finally told to the police, they were like, oh, we've got to go get this kid or whatever. She walked up to the door. He had what kind of gun was it behind his back? It was a shotgun.
Yeah, it's some kind of shotgun, a rifle.
And I guess she had to lure him out of the house, and when she saw the gun, she decided to pull her gun. It was crazy. Yeah, from how she told it.
All he was wanting to know was how long he was gonna get.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, the only thing he asked was how long will this get me?
At 15 years old.
Yeah,
after he just raped his neighbor.
Yeah. So the judge in the case said Todd was very bright and should be advanced academically, but behaviorally and emotionally he was dangerous and likely could not be rehabilitated. His probation officer wrote a similar description in court papers and added that he felt the world owed him something, meaning Todd felt, and as we go along you're going to kind of understand what that means.
Yeah.
His attorney in that case later went on to say that while defending him, he could not believe his client would go on to harm others in the future. Wrong. During his imprisonment, Todd was initially cited for violations that included some violent behavior. After turning 20, he had no other records of disobedience. So... You guys got anything else to add on that you can think of?
There really wasn't much to add on his stint. You know what I mean? Just that he got really buff when he got out. He was all ripped.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he came right out.
He didn't really talk much about it himself either. Whenever she was interviewing him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, I gotta say, and yeah, the guy that we just told you all this about as a kid is the guy we're going to continue talking about. He's free at 30 years old to walk the streets and, does some pretty
he's actually a pretty smart...
that's what I mean. He's a really smart guy for being in prison from 15 years old to 30.
Right.
Yeah, an IQ of 118. And you can tell just by talking to him, he was real witty with his, responses and, kind of the way he would say things without saying it, but you were kind of oh, shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's almost like he wants it to be a puzzle.
It was almost like he was, like you said, he was kind of sloppy, but then again, was he? It's almost because he just thought he was literally smarter than everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
He literally, and he was pretty fucking smart.
Yeah, dude, he kept getting away with it for how long?
Mm-hmm.
So many.
Right. So, he was released in 2001, August of 2001. And he served 14 years of his 15-year prison or sentence. He moved to South Carolina where his mother was living. During his imprisonment, he attended graduate from Central Arizona College with a bachelor's degree in computer science. From January 2002 to November 2003, he worked as a graphic designer. That's kind of odd, too. You were a graphic designer. Okay.
Still kind of are.
Yeah. For a company in Spartanburg. He began studying at Greenville Tech College in 2003, transferred to the University of South Carolina Upstate the following year, and graduated in 2008 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration Marketing. So... this is what got me, because He was registered as a sex offender.
And he went to all these colleges and shit? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I was just thinking, I honestly, until you just read all that, didn't know he had that much education. It's like,
I know,
that's a lot of money. Where did that come
loans.
From? I mean, shit, I can barely get a loan, and this dude's straight out of prison, and he's going to 7 different colleges?
It, man. He was 15 whenever he got locked up. He didn't get a chance to build
a credit score? How did he build a fucking credit score in prison? It took me a year and a half just to buy my house. I had to live in an apartment.
But I'm sure it didn't take him too long, probably a year or two. This went on for how long? He was in his 50s after he was finally... I'm just saying,
there's a lot more people I feel like them loans could have went to, because really... You're going to learn he does not do well with everything he learned in college.
No. So, and what gets me is, as a sex offender, he was able to get a real estate license on June 30th, 2006, after lying about the felony charge on his application.
Well, and that's because they didn't do background checks on real estate agents
at that
until
time.
They started raping people. And
it's kind of scary. You know, you're a real estate agent, and my sister-in-law is
finances.
One, so I know she's alone a lot with people. Well, it's kind of scary.
He had encounters with people he sold houses to, if I'm not mistaken, where they were, they looked into him and had started researching him and reported him when they found out what he really was.
Kind of violent a little bit with some of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Wanted to always discuss his weapons.
So, I mean, the one thing you can say about the guy, even after spending 14 years in prison, when he gets out, I mean, he's got the mentality of going to school, getting a bachelor's degree, getting his license as a realtor. He also, so he built a firm that had 12 agents in his employment. He was recognized as one of the top-selling agents in the Carolina region.
Very pushy, they said.
Right. He also acquired a private pilot license, which is going to come into play here soon. And then he had several properties out of state. In May of 2014, he purchased nearly 100 acres of land located in the area 9 miles from the community of Moore for $305,000. And then he set a fence around the property, which cost about $80,000. There was a lot of things that I saw, like little clips of people talking, like about the property, saying that people found that odd that he fenced in.
I know.
Well, didn't he call didn't he tell somebody to call it his compound or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
he had
his
a hard
lightweight
time.
doomsday.
He had a problem with people hunting on his property.
Yeah, I think he
kind
of had a doomsday prepper mindset.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Or wanted people to think that.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? He was crazy.
So, a customer who sold her home to Todd remembered him as extremely outgoing and professional, but noted that he would often talk about his firearms and sometimes use sexual, innuendos. Yeah, during their conversations. Conversely, a woman who assisted one of Todd's employees described him as angry and condescending towards her partner. A banker who worked with him said he often watched pornographic videos at work. He also I don't know why I found this funny, a Waffle House restaurant where his behavior disturbed the waitresses to the point where the male cooks began to take his orders for the waitresses. So you probably, Helena, know something about weirdos.
There are some weird people like that sometimes, man.
He's probably a regular.
So according to and I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all. So according to this employee, one of the waitresses was Megan Coxey, one of his victims. Ooh. Did not know that. They never said anything about that, did they?
No, she was the one that was on the street that he picked up.
Yeah, but supposedly he was an employee.
She was a waitress at Waffle House.
Yeah. He had an infatuation with these women.
Of course, they didn't
younger
Waffle
though.
House and all that stuff either.
Much younger than him.
Yeah. So
that's why you got to come to here. We give you all the details they leave out.
Juice.
Yeah.
The juicy goodies.
Well, and when we watch these, after I'm done watching them, I always go online because you can find, we can find more stuff on there.
Of course,
which I did.
Yeah.
On August the 31st, 2016, Kayla Brown and her boyfriend, Charles David Carver, Kayla was 30, Charles was 32, went missing after they went to clean Todd's residence. So he seemed to like hire people to do different things like around his properties and stuff. Which is don't do that. So of course Charles's father started, I think he is the one that started saying something's going on. My son, I think he was supposed to be at meet with his dad. He didn't show up.
Which was unusual.
Right. Yeah. He wouldn't answer any texts or any calls, so...
To his mom either.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then some weird stuff started going up on Facebook, on their Facebook accounts following their disappearance. And it prompted speculation that another party had taken control of his Facebook account. Because his dad's like, this is not him. He would not post this stuff.
Yeah. Well, do you know what it was?
It was his
ex-wife being weird.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's strange. They weren't.
Yeah, they weren't divorced yet.
And
she was saying like, "Rest in peace. He's dead."
Well, the dad also, his dad also had the landlord of his son's apartment building go in there, and they found Kayla's little dog, no food or water.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the dog was okay. I made sure of that, and. So she went in a couple of times, and the one time that she went in, she's seen his estranged wife leaving with his computer.
Nikki, I think, was her
name. Yeah. And then that's when all these Facebook messages started coming up. She was saying, and this is really crazy, on the day that we find out that he was actually murdered, because he was murdered, she posted... What was it she posted? Rest in peace.
My beloved husband.
Something like that. To where that was, I still question that.
And it was basically when he went missing. It wasn't when. Was it when they found him, or was it when he was missing and no one knew yet?
No, they knew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they knew. But what is so odd, and they even bring it up in the documentary, was. That post was on August 31st, the day he was killed. So, coincidence? Or...
Did she know something?
Yeah.
But nothing ever, I'm jumping the gun here, but nothing ever happened with her. The only thing that happened was she had to pay a fine,
she had to pay Verizon for wasting their time.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
She tried to act like a detective and get his phone records. And
she got charged for impersonating an officer.
Yes, that's what it was.
She got a fine for $2,000 or something like
restitution to pay AT&T or Verizon
or whomever.
Yeah.
And then
the court.
And then probation. I think she got probation. I couldn't find much on her either.
Yeah.
Even when I was putting in his name, and it was not popping up.
Right. But Kayla knew Todd before any of this happened, didn't she? She was a
stripper.
How do I say it politely? Yeah, she was a stripper, but she was also sexual with him for money.
Yeah.
So a hooker.
Yeah. She was hooking.
He was a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
So after...
But that Charlie dude didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and Todd shot him, by the way. I don't think we said
that.
Todd killed the guy.
So, she was missing, they were missing for 68 days. And the police whatever they do, but found that the last ping that they got from her cell phone was on his property.
Yeah. Which was evidence enough to search, right?
Right. Well, they go to his house, and that's when I was worried about the dog. Because he had a dog in there. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, so there's cops at his house, and then there's also cops at his 95-acre property.
At the time, all they're doing is questioning him. Yeah. Asking him questions about the last time he saw Kayla and Charles and all, and, you know, stuff like that.
Right. And you see everything from a police webcam, so you see all this happening in real time on the documentary.
Which is cool. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to watch that.
Right. So, as they're questioning him, their phones start going off because during this time, their chief gets serves a search warrant, which I don't know how that works. I need to find out because don't you usually have to serve the search warrant to the person that owns the property? But somehow they got the search warrant through. And
only if they.
I don't think it really matters. I don't even think it really matters. I mean, they have the search warrant.
Well, I think they had showed up there and they heard her screaming. That's
no,
what
they heard
it was.
No, they heard her knocking. She was knocking on the side of the thing, and then I guess she said once she realized it wasn't him, she started screaming and going nuts.
Yeah.
So, because I think she was afraid it was him.
That was probably enough to freaking be like, oh, we're coming in anyways.
So she was chained up in a Connex box, a storage container, big metal
and I remember this. It was 2016.
Me too.
I remember this on the news.
Yeah,
and
it was
crazy. They were showing them cut.
It was like one of the first fucked up viral
It really
videos
was,
to go viral on Facebook and stuff.
I remember it.
I remember it too.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it was this guy when I picked this show. I was just like,
because
when
this
guy looks weird.
When Cody was telling me about it, I was like, I remember that. I remember seeing that on the news. And I mean, could you imagine being in something? Well, I found, I don't know if they said it on the documentary. I don't remember if they did or not, but I remember, or I read that he would take her from there and take her up to that
little
garage thing.
It was like a pole barn.
I mean, it was bigger than my house. So I mean,
it was like a big pole barn that he actually had like a second floor in.
So he would take her out of there, and there was chains up there also
on the chain,
and he would chain her back up there, feed her, and then take her back to the. And
there was a bed and everything up in that little shack that he had.
Which she says he didn't plan any of this, but he
planned it.
I mean, there's more. It's more.
Yeah.
It's not his first time.
As they bust in, you hear one of the cops say, "It's a girl. It's a girl," because they don't know what they're walking into.
Yeah.
They're like freaking out. And I mean, she right away drops dime on the guy.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, because they said, "Where's your friend?" And she's like, "Charlie." He said, "Todd shot him 3 times in the chest."
Yeah.
I mean, gave them detail.
Yeah.
She's
probably waiting for that day, dude.
Put a tarp over top of him and put him in the bucket of a
tractor.
A tractor
bucket and dumped him in a hole. But wait, there's more.
So she's just telling him everything like from right off the bat. She seems really calm. The other thing during the documentary, those letters confused me. But the more I started thinking about it, I think he made her write those sexual letters to him. Or she did it because he said, "If I have no use for you, I will kill you."
It was survival, in my opinion.
So,
I mean, she was already kind of into sex work, so she kind of knew the odds and ends of how to tell someone what they like to get what they want, or get what she wants from someone. So she was gonna say anything to survive, regardless.
He had a hole dug already,
and it's not like she hadn't already been. He already had a hole dug
for her.
Well, and they asked him too, Todd, what was that hole? And they said, "Was that for Kayla?" And he said, "Yeah."
Yeah, because this dude, after he gets caught, I mean, he just spills the beans on it all. He don't care. Like, he actually almost really just brags about it. Like, he even told the cops, like, no
remorse.
Yeah, like, well, hold on, I'll tell you what he said.
He was like, I couldn't decide if I wanted to use it or not, and all this stuff. I mean, there's more people, though, on this property that are buried, too.
Yeah, 'cause she just started spilling it all out.
Yeah, she was like, there's 2 other people on this property that are buried. He said that he killed more people here, and they're buried on the property, freaking out.
Well, and this is, his mom was a little, Todd's mom was a little whacked out, because his mom claimed that Charles Carver was killed for having a really smart mouth, and Todd did not like it. And that was kind of his personality. If you
was.
pissed him off, you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where when we were talking earlier, and I said I felt like he was sloppy. What I meant was like I felt like that he killed somebody. Every time that he killed somebody, he thought, "Oh shit! Now what am I going to do?"
Yeah, he was sloppy.
It wasn't like he planned, okay, I'm going to shoot this guy, and then I'm going to...
Yeah, it wasn't a premeditated thing. It was just in the moment. Somebody set him off,
he was
triggered.
An impulsive killer.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, they found Charlie's car. It was found in a ravine covered in brush. So...
Ravines are his thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And covering it with brush.
Yeah.
So what I got from reading online and from the documentary, he had a thing for Kayla.
Yeah.
He repeatedly said during the documentary that he didn't want to kill women, but when they took him in to the interrogation room, he started pretty much bragging on other things that he had done. He admitted to 2 more bodies that were on the property.
And pretty much pointed where to dig.
Yeah.
And he was even like, "Oh, you guys didn't find him there? Just go a little
pretty
deep."
much.
He was literally like, "Go a little deeper and you'll find her," which was Megan Coxey.
He's like, "I don't know how you didn't find him."
One of the Waffle House waitresses.
Right. So they were identified as husband and wife, Johnny Coxey, 29, and Megan Coxey, 26. They were residents of Spartansburg. They were reported missing December 22nd, 2015. They were also hired by Todd to work on his property. Now, Todd said that he killed, he went in to get something in the garage or whatever, and when he came out, that Johnny had a knife.
They were there to get tools or something.
Yeah, he was getting supplies for him to clean or whatever.
Yeah.
And said that, he just pulled out his gun and shot him. And he didn't want to kill Megan. He even put her in the storage container.
Yeah.
And
kept her for like a week.
Yeah.
And just couldn't control her.
She set it on fire on Christmas Day.
They were known drug addicts too, unfortunately. So she was probably extremely sick and freaking out and panicking.
Right.
I mean, I think, he pulled a knife on him, right? That's why he said he shot him.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to rob, or he stole something like that. He was
trying to rob him.
Yeah. He
said the same thing about Charlie Carver. He said Charlie Carver was trying to rob him too. So we don't, there's only one person that knows, and that's him, as far as whether he just,
Yeah, but this guy pulled a knife on him. The other one, Charlie, he stole something. That's what set him off.
So obviously I feel that he probably was into this chick because it seems like his thing.
Yeah.
And he had to go. The dude had to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I kind of have my own opinion that we'll get into
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
On why I think he does this.
Right.
These two. The other, maybe all of them. I don't know. I do agree with him having a crush on the women, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Johnny and Megan were before Kayla and Charles. They were December 19th, 2015. And that was Johnny who he killed on that date. And then Megan was killed about a week later. They are saying around December 25th or 26th.
He said he was coming in with snacks. He had a Dr. Pepper and a honey bun to give her.
And he
saw the fire.
And what gave me the chills was he threw those in the grave. In the grave.
With her body.
With her, yeah. Do we want to go into
the feet? Yeah, we might as well.
Oh, you go, Cody. This creeps me out.
Huh?
Go. This creeps me out.
Oh, yeah. So the Charles body and Johnny's body both had their feet missing. And it wasn't like they were like cut off, sawed off, or like tobacco got them when they were digging it out. They were like twisted until they came off. Like he just grabbed their lifeless feet and just twisted them
But he didn't, and he didn't
like
want to
the
talk
skin
about
was
it.
extremely
like when you take a water bottle and you like squeeze it until the lid pops off.
He said he didn't do it. He don't know what happened, and then the story. He did not want to talk about
But
that.
he also said my mom always told me not to play with my food. But that doesn't really make any sense because he didn't. There's no like signs of him eating anything that we know of.
But did he?
I mean, he did have a toaster oven and a grill there, you know.
Yeah, he did. Right
toasted
beside
up
the
barn,
man.
Or something.
Yeah, barbecue.
Right on the other side of the shipping container.
Yeah,
barbecue a shoe or toast a toe. I don't know.
Toasty toes.
Yeah, that's just
it's sad.
Smoke a heel.
I just kept like, why the? I don't know, but he wouldn't talk about it. He didn't. So that makes me think something.
Because he really
because it was only the men. The women weren't.
Women he didn't mess with.
And the profiler,
which makes it even more obvious that he did something.
The profiler even said he's not one of those trophy serial killers.
Well, he even said
like
in the thing like they're not
type thing.
Yeah, he even said like they're not trophies. I'm not like that, or like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one's something we may never ever know.
I know. It was interesting.
It is because it's just like. What did you do with them, bud?
I know.
The feet.
Did you feed them to your dog? Maybe.
Yeah, the feet.
Did you give them to your dog to chew on? Like.
But why mention the food though?
Well, maybe that.
Yeah, because when they asked,
maybe he only meant that in
he had a bunch of
canned
goods. Listen, dude, he had a bunch of canned goods in that barn.
You know what I mean? Maybe he meant that in regards to the two girls.
I don't know. It was just
well,
odd.
Caleb never died, but she actually they found her before he got her. But
I feel that Kayla, if they didn't find her when they did,
it was coming.
I think it was.
Why would the hole be ready?
Yeah. So that was one of the things that they found out, and then there was.
Wouldn't that suck though to be? Because I'd run excavators and backhoes and things in real life, so that would be something to like pull up a shoe or accidentally clip a foot. Like, oh fuck,
what is that?
I got his foot. Shit, get it off.
That would be
get it off. I found it.
That would be horrifying.
I mean, sorry.
It takes a special type of person to work a job like that.
On this channel, so.
Well, I mean, we talk about some screwed up stuff. If you don't have any humor, you can't laugh. I mean,
I'm just saying that still could be a possibility. There could be that one operator out there who was like, fuck, and like dug another hole real quick and buried it. Like, shit, dude, I just took this dude's feet off. Fuck.
God rest their souls.
God rest their souls, yes.
Oh, shoot.
Amen. R.I.P.
Now I'm going to be laughing.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Continue.
So that is not all that they find out during his brag fest in the interrogation room. And you hear our dogs again.
Attack.
Everything's good. We have nobody coming up behind us. The dogs will let us know. So there was actually a quadruple homicide.
Yeah.
November 6, 2003. So this was a cold case.
Mm-hmm.
They could not pin this quadruple murder on anyone. And Todd decides to let him know that he was the one that shot 4 people inside the Superbike Motorsports.
While he's in interrogation over Kayla and Charles and Megan and everyone.
She mentioned something about it in the ambulance too. She kind of frantically. She was like, he also shot 4 people in the bike shop.
But they said they didn't put 2 and 2 together at that moment.
Right.
Yeah. Until he just came out and said it.
Yeah, and he said that he did it. He said he was the lone shooter.
I mean, he knew which bullets were. There was some brass bullets and nickel bullets. He knew exactly how many casings were there, where they were, how the bodies were laid.
Right.
I mean, it was almost obvious that. I mean, he knew.
And
exactly.
that case was a little screwed up with the police.
And that went unsolved.
It did.
13 years.
13 years.
13 years that went unsolved.
Yeah, I mean, they were given lists of customers that could have been,
Yeah, they got a list of
obvious suspects.
They didn't even think to look at the customers right away. And I thought that'd been in the first place to look.
Yeah,
definitely. You know what I mean?
They were like, "Oh, these kids are doing something they shouldn't be."
Even the expert the one fella, he even said that, he gave him the list, and it was like he circled pissed. Like he thought it was a pissed off customer.
And Todd was the second person on his list.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't care.
Yeah. He was the second person
and actually,
on his list.
Todd said, a little bit about, like, they were kind of been making fun of him and about the bike he had bought. And actually, it's funny because I called it when we were watching. I said there was a Suzuki dealership. I said he probably bought a Gixxer 700 or 750 because those are race bikes. They're not really street bikes. You know what I mean? If he's a beginner rider, a new rider, you don't need to be on a bike like that on the street. So they were probably not really being mean to him.
He was a little bit bigger.
They were probably letting him know, like, hey, buddy, this is a lot of bike for you, dude.
This ain't a bike for you to start.
You know what I mean? Like, you should get on this. You know what I mean? Like, try to sell a smaller bike, and then supposedly got stolen. But here's the other thing about it and he thought that they stole the bike from him, but he was also, that was around the time he was getting harassed because the people in the apartment complex found out he was a sexual predator.
Yeah.
Or a sex offender.
Right.
And he started getting harassed, and they started putting signs up all over about him in the town, and he ended up having to move out. So it could have been somebody. So I think it was somebody along them lines that stole the bike. He thought them guys were making fun of him, and they stole the bike back, and he was just in a pissed off state, and went in there and shot him.
So what happened was the victims of the Superbike Motorsports were Scott Ponder. He was 30 years old. He was the owner. Service manager Brian Lucas was 30. Mechanic Chris Scherber, he was 26. And bookkeeper, which was Scott Ponder's mom, Beverly Guy, 52.
And they were like all buddies, weren't they? All three
I think they were buddies.
They all raced together
or something like.
One was the mechanic, and the other two shop owners and stuff raced with each other.
They all rode for their whole lives bikes together.
Yeah,
not together, but they all rode their whole lives from like growing up and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So he did know like a lot about the murders of these people. He did get a couple of them wrong, but you got to think, dude, this was like 13 years ago. But he knew the bullet, the casings, where everybody was.
There's no doubt it was him. And then they have the customer that was in there making a payment on one of his kids' go-karts or bikes or something, said that if you would have put Todd Kohlhepp in a lineup like that during that time, he said he could have picked him out.
Right.
Because he was actually sitting on a Katana 600, which is still a big bike. That's still not a beginner bike, but he bought it or said he was going to buy it. And then they started to wheel it in the back, and in the crime scene photos, a black Kawasaki Katana 600 is the photo that Chris Scherbert's laying next to dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he had just walked out. He said, how do you not look into or talk to the people who were just there?
Well, and then they drew a composite, and he said that the composite
it looked just like him.
The first one he said didn't look like him.
No, the one they put on the
second one.
Yeah,
there was two composites.
The first one definitely did not look like him.
I mean, close enough, though. I mean,
the second one did.
To narrow down from a customer list or a group of suspects, I mean, it was pretty close compared to for 2003, too. You know what I mean? For 2003.
Here we are again, sloppy police work.
Yeah. I got to give the sheriff props, though, towards the end when he comes out and does that.
Yeah.
At the end. I mean, he answers a lot of the questions.
Didn't they say he actually came in and picked up the case after it had already?
Yeah, not
because he wasn't the original sheriff.
The super bike was under somebody else.
Right.
And he came in a little bit after that.
Right.
But that went unsolved.
Up until he confessed to it.
The thing that gave me the chills is when he said, I did it. I went in 45 seconds and was back out, or something to that effect. You would have been proud of me.
Yeah.
To the cop. And I'm like, and that cop was like, are you friggin' kidding me?
Yeah, man.
You just said that to me?
I probably would have punched him right in the mouth.
I know.
I mean, you just killed 4 innocent. Now,
no remorse.
His mother,
well, and that's where he said kind of that he didn't like killing women. He didn't want to kill the women because the mom
He didn't really expect her to be there.
To kill her. She kind of came out of the bathroom,
and he knew she saw him.
She was there. He was there. He was. But I don't know though. She only showed up 5 minutes. She's only been there for 5 minutes.
He was walking. Yeah, he was walking around. She came out of the bathroom.
So according to Todd's mom, if we want to believe her, she said he attempted to return a motorcycle there, but the employees laughed at him, would not return the money he had paid for the motorcycle, and embarrassed him for not knowing how to ride. So, I mean, honestly, this guy seemed to be, and when I would hear him talk or like hear different things about him, he didn't want to be proven wrong or made look stupid.
He kind of had an ego.
He had an ego.
A huge one.
Ego.
That was his downfall.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people with egos, and they don't go around killing friggin' people.
Yeah, he has psychological issues.
He's a little bitch. If you can't take a fucking little bit of bullying, you gotta go kill somebody. Like, you're a little puss.
Yeah.
Well,
how'd that work out for you, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sue me.
So, yeah, he's pretty ate up. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and then another thing with the police, though, Megan's mother tried to contact police and file a missing persons report. And they basically didn't want to file one because they knew that she was homeless and a drifter, and she holds up signs on the side of the road panhandling.
She missed a court date too, and they thought she was on the run. Because of the court
running
date.
From her troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Running from her troubles.
Yeah, so she then says, "Well, I want you to ping my daughter's phone."
And if they would have,
I paid for it.
They might have found her.
So
alive.
you should be able to do it. It's not like she pays for it. It's my phone. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they said it was invasion of privacy, and she said even if I pay for the bill. And they said, yeah, sorry.
Which really isn't the case. The sheriff was pissed about it. Mm-hmm. The sheriff was like, I actually
in the middle of his interview, he didn't know. He actually got up and went and started asking about
He wanted to go call the detective.
Chewed somebody's ass for it.
Yeah.
The detective she spoke to.
Yeah. So, it all boils down to, well, and the other thing is there was the one investigative reporter Maria, that is part of the documentary. Man, she could get people to talk.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I know,
And he told her a lot. He didn't want to deal with the police. Todd didn't want to deal with the police, but he told her there's more. He told his mom too.
Yeah.
And you hear that conversation.
Yeah, she was like, how many? And he was like, too many to count on my hands.
Yeah. I don't have enough fingers.
Yeah, he said they'd be pulling bodies off of that land for a while.
Yeah. And yeah. So he admitted to it, and then you alluded to
there was a time span between
2003 or 2005 and 2013.
Yeah.
That supposedly he didn't do anything.
And I don't believe that.
Right.
Not with him. I don't believe
But he was also
supposedly he was getting that private pilot license, and then he was like circumnavigating his way into Mexico and like killing drug dealers for sport.
He said he was in El Paso.
Juarez.
Yeah.
Juarez in
El Paso's
Mexico,
in Texas.
but El Paso.
I know. What did he say about El Paso?
Well, that was kind of the route they flew around to keep from being detected.
Yeah. And then the one guy asked if, a really good pilot of his, if that was possible, and he said, "Yeah, if you're smart enough, like you can and you plan it out right, and you plan everything right, it's definitely doable."
And I've heard of that before. That's not like the first time I've heard of kind of mercenaries being hired by the Mexican government because they can't control the cartel.
And remember, he had his pilot license,
dealers.
Like I said at the beginning.
They hire people outside of the country to actually go in and try to kill these
and everybody
drug
that
dealers.
ever knew this guy always said he was always talking about guns and bullets and tactical shit. You know what I mean? It was almost like he wanted to be like a, you know what I mean?
Like a mercenary.
Yeah, or like a Navy, or no, like he wanted to be like a special agent.
Regardless of the action,
you know what I mean?
He wanted the action of death.
Because like it seems like too, like I think that's where it all started. I think that's where
he lost it.
He was, I think he started becoming an actual killer where it just started becoming natural, where he felt like he could just fuck you, said, pow, pow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said he killed drug dealers, like the cartel and everything.
And maybe he was getting bored. Maybe that's why he lured them two to because they're not the greatest of people on paper from what we hear. That, you know, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not trying to talk ill about him, but, you know, that he may have targeted him out for that reason. It's his own little hunt club in the United States.
Yeah.
Addicts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all we know, he could have fenced that place in and told Johnny and Megan to start running.
Yeah. If he wanted to, he probably could have.
Well, you don't know. There's only one
yeah.
Kayla.
She didn't talk much. She didn't talk much.
She
didn't talk much.
Most of what
she
she knew was just from him bragging about it.
Yeah.
So that's where her information.
Yeah,
came
he
from.
told Kayla that he was in Mexico. He killed a bunch of people in Mexico too. She revealed that to the police.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he liked to brag to her. Probably.
He ended up saying that his number.
Didn't he say? Didn't
to his current girlfriend though? No, remember his current girlfriend, like up in 2016.
Double digits.
Yeah, he said it was
he dreamed about
over
getting
200.
Into the triple digits.
He's close to the triples. He said he was. He won't be getting closer.
Yeah, they're like any of these that we have done so far. I've gotten cold chills and just creeped out. This one really creeped me out because, you know, having my books on Amazon, I get reviews.
Yeah.
I don't really read.
I
don't really read my reviews too much. But he left reviews, and listen to some of these reviews that he leaves on Amazon. This is for a folding shovel review.
Oh God.
He says in the review, keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies. And you left the full-size shovel at home.
Sick.
So that's one of his reviews.
It's almost like a sarcastic joke. People would take it that way if they didn't know who he really was. You know what I mean?
This one kind of got me giggling.
That's what I mean.
It's like haven't stabbed anyone yet about the knife. Like, that one kind of got me giggling. But then it was like, oh shit.
His knife review says, haven't stabbed anyone yet. ... yet ... But I am keeping the dream alive, and when I do, it will be with a quality tool like this.
Jesus.
I mean, what the fuck,
and
man?
Then, now this one was crazy. Padlock review, solid locks. Have 5 on a shipping container. Won't stop them, but sure will slow them down till they are too old to care.
See what I mean about the way he says things? Like the food thing, for example. He probably did eat them fucking feet.
He does kind of talk, not really in riddles.
Philosopher.
He talks in like code.
Like
codes. Like trying. He's witty with his words.
A review and he probably did use that
under his name
to do stuff. Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, but without a court order or anything, they can't go in and find out who wrote the review.
But the thing is, dude, I have had some reviews that it's like, holy wow.
But it was under his name, so it's not like hard to find it.
Well, no, that's not...
Yeah, but people also put dumb shit like that on the internet.
Yeah.
People don't
just
have...
trolling people.
Yeah.
People don't have to have their legal name on reviews.
Right. Oh, okay.
But they can... How they found this out, I have no idea. And they don't say if it is his legal name. Knowing him, it probably is.
I'm sure they seized all his IP
He wants everything to be
every single hard drive he ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
I'm sure they tracked.
But that was...
After they got their hands on his...
Yeah.
That was freaking crazy. So, we'll get into... So he, at this point, has killed 7 people
that we know
of. He says there's more. He also brought up when he was living at the Hunt
Club Apartments.
Hunt Club Apartments, which is
how ironic.
No joke.
And that's what
We're not making that up.
That's what Cody was talking about, where people
he was getting harassed and
found out that he was a sex offender,
and he wasn't registering, so he wasn't letting anyone know around him that he was a sex offender.
Oh, it was a lady that he was selling a house to.
Yeah.
Who looked into it, yep.
Yeah.
And found him on the website.
Yep. Yeah, because he was being real nasty to her, cussing her out, and bragging about having guns.
Yeah.
And
that he'd kill somebody, her
and
husband or something. It's always got to be the man that he wants to kill for some reason at first.
Little bitch.
Yeah. So he said he said that one night he got out of his car and there was two men he'd never seen in his life coming up at him. One had a hammer, the other had a
knife, a small knife.
Was it a small knife?
Mm-hmm.
And he had two knives
in each pocket or something.
And he said that they went to attack him. He killed them both.
One of them cut him on the wrist, and that's when he decided to stab him. And he stabbed him 3 times in the stomach, and the other one took off, and he stabbed him in the neck.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So he wrapped him up, put him in his car. He went into his apartment, got a pitcher of water to clean the blood off the parking lot. And the what's his name? The profiler,
John Douglas.
Because everybody's like, "Oh, I don't believe he did that." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "You know what? He said if I would have heard that story without him going in and getting a pitcher of water,
and he got a shower curtain and rugs and sheets, and that's what he wrapped the bodies.
Yeah,
in.
but he said that what clued him in to make him think that this really did happen was a pitcher of water. He said, because why would you bring that up?
That's a detail.
Yeah. That is a detail.
Yeah, right. A good one.
Why would you bring that up? You wouldn't.
He kept coming out with pictures and dumping it and dumping it and dumping it. Yeah.
So he told the Maria, the investigator, reporter from the documentary. I mean, he told her a lot of stuff, and he told her about those two. And he wasn't for sure exactly where where he dumped the bodies, but he gave her pretty specific he said it was between this point and this point. It was off an exit with a road closure sign.
Between Columbus and where again?
No, not Columbus.
Columbia. It was Columbia.
Yeah.
And Spartansville?
Spartansburg. just leave the geography there.
I know. Okay, you handle it.
I know, I'm bad at it too.
It's terrible.
But so she actually went to the police with this, that the sheriff that is now listening went to the sheriff, he finally gave her an interview. That's another thing. When he was convicted, she went up to the sheriff to ask him a question. And the only thing that the sheriff said, he just looked there, he said, "That's a nice dress." Remember that?
Yeah. All snooty.
Yeah, and then
he said, "I'm not going to answer that."
Right. She finally got an interview. This chick, Maria, she just does not give up. So she finally gets her interview with the sheriff.
Like a year later.
Yeah, and
on March 7th.
She's badass because she even brings up the last time we talked. And she brought up about him saying that about her dress and refusing to answer her question.
Yeah, she did.
I was
bring
like, that
up.
is badass.
I know,
badass.
No fucks.
But
face.
So she pretty much pressured him and said, if I can get some type of proof, from Todd, will you take that serious? And he said, absolutely. If there are more bodies out there, we want to find them.
Yeah.
Well, and Todd gave her permission to go on his property.
Oh, yeah.
She look around, and the doors were unlocked and stuff. So, I mean.
Yeah.
There again, he's still happy that he did all this.
I know.
Like,
Yeah. Well, and yeah. So, anyway, there was... I think a total of 8 exits. No. Yeah. 8 exits. I had a hard time getting that out.
I know.
And I think they disqualified 3 or 4 of them right off the bat. Said, no, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
it's not what he had described.
Her and the other guy that's actually writing his biography or whatever, Todd's biography. I think they got it down to 3. And one was the sign looked like it had been there for a long time, the road closure sign.
Yeah.
Because there was trees growing up through it.
Yeah.
That's the one that Todd said to look at.
Yeah.
But the police, once the police went and looked at the 3 places, they
did away with that one.
They ruled that one out.
They picked the other 2.
He said something about he was searching for a back road or something, wasn't he? Or,
yeah. And she kept wanting to bring Todd out of prison, shackled and everything, because she felt that he would be able to say that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he would. And I'm sure he probably really even knows.
Yeah. He just wants a day on the walk away.
Didn't he kind of act like he wanted to go out and show him too? That
he just wanted immunity. He wanted to make sure he didn't get hit with the death penalty to show them.
If they found more bodies.
He wanted it from the Attorney General.
Which really, I mean, he already got 7 counts of life in prison.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, why not give him immunity and just let him fucking find the bodies if there are them?
And make him suffer it out.
I mean,
it's not like he's going anywhere.
And it's not like that's uncommon either. They've taken killers out to areas to show them where they buried bodies before.
I think that was selfish on his part, because these families, if there are, and the other thing is they could not. She did research. They could not find 2 missing men.
I know. He didn't know who they were. He said he had their wallets.
But there's so many missing people. In the world that then people may not have had many people around there. It could have been 2 dudes there from out of town working in the area that may be missing in another state.
Right.
You know what I mean? That it isn't solely just from there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It may be a lot wider area than people could have been from. That are
friends from somebody who lived there, and they told them, what he was and what his what was it? How he was a registered sex offender.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay. And they may have not even been from that area at all.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the area they looked for missing people at the time that he said it happened.
Well, they actually picked one that they felt that kind of fit what he was talking about. They didn't go with the one Todd told them to go with. They went with another one. They got the cadaver dogs. And just did a search and came up empty-handed. They found 4 bones, but it came back that they were animal bones. They actually found a shirt sticking up out of the ground, but there was no evidence of blood or anything. And if you're stabbed, you're going to have blood. And it took them 4 hours or something.
Yeah, I think they searched for 3 to 4 hours, something like that.
So I looked online to see if they checked out any of the other spots. I couldn't find. It didn't say on the documentary.
I know that it's probably still ongoing, because the last documentary that was filmed, the episode was in 2017? 18?
18, I believe.
Yeah,
18,
so I mean, I know she wasn't done, so hopefully there's more.
And what Cody was bringing up about the Mexico thing, that is still right now under FBI investigation.
Yeah, it's under federal investigation.
Yeah, so the FBI is still looking into
and they'll
that.
take their time
must
with
have
it.
Been over there doing some shit, I'm sure.
They'll take their time with it. They know stuff like that goes on. They just need so much evidence before they go into Mexico to extradite.
Right. So, a couple of things and they did get briefly on this. He did actually have a girlfriend of 10 years. Holly, I don't know how to say her last name, Eudy. But for 10
Eudy. Eudy.
Yeah. I couldn't find the dates that he was dating her, but I believe it was during all this.
Yeah, she said she had no idea.
It's the girl that gave him the money for the storage container.
Yeah. She gave him the money for the storage container.
And he was kind of trying to get her involved with it, too.
He wanted her involved in it.
Yeah, he was saying that she was saying that he always fantasized about having a partner in crime that was like a woman, like a killer with him. You know what I mean? Like a pair of killers. And she bought the thing for him, I guess more like we were saying, like doomsday prepper and intent, you know what I mean, to put all his ammo and food supplies and shit like that.
She knew he had guns. She didn't know how he obtained them, she said.
So so I don't know exactly what happened with her, but of course he's now in prison, and all the families and Kayla are putting up lawsuits against him now. Yeah. So Kayla is suing him, or was suing him, for $363 million. I'm not for sure what the other families were suing him for, but they were all suing him. I was shocked because I went on and just started searching, and I was watching little clips of the court cases. He represented himself, and he was allowed to cross-examine
Kayla.
These people.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine you sitting up there, with a lawsuit against the guy that kept you, raped you, killed your boyfriend, and he can cross-examine you
and question everything he did.
Yeah. But when the judge said, do you want to cross-examination with Kayla? He said no. Ponder's wife, the owner of the super bike place, this really, I don't know how to take this. She was up there, and actually his son she was pregnant with when he died. He was 15 when he went into the courtroom and faced.
Yeah.
But Ponder's wife actually apologized to Todd of them making fun of him. She apologized. Now I know she's a Christian woman, but for me, I'm a Christian too, but to sit there and look at the man that just walked in, shot my mother-in-law, my husband, my friends that I've known, and sit there and say, oh, well, I'm sorry that they made fun of you. I was highly pissed off when I seen that.
Well, and since you brought her up, she was actually a suspect.
She was.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they
mislabeled the blood, and they were telling her that boy
of
wasn't
Chris Ponder and
wasn't his.
One of the other guys, Scott. Yeah.
Scott. Yeah.
So that was kind of
that was another.
The sheriff's department obviously didn't claim that. It was a third party company that comes in and
they
does
did
it
twice, and she's like, "No,
you're
wrong."
Boatloads to talk about just because this dude wouldn't shut up. I mean, he literally just fucking blurted everything about everything out there,
right,
to a lot of people and a lot of
But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I thank God I'm not in that situation. I don't know what her mindset was.
Yeah.
It just blew me away. I was just like, you just apologized to him?
Yeah.
She must be a better person than me because I just could not do that.
Right.
No way. So Kayla was awarded $6.3 million. I did find that online. And the way that they got this money, they did put his house up for sale, which I believe because there was a lot of things that needed done with it, it only went for like $100,000. The land, the 95.6 acres, was sold for $500,000.
His house was kind of nice, though.
It was, but there was
like a condo, though.
Yeah, was it? It looked kind of big.
Wasn't in like a neighborhoody.
Yeah, it was a neighborhood.
It
wasn't really a condo, but
it was a house. It was a decent sized house.
It was a big house. They had to pull up all the carpets because of the dogs and just different things like that. But it brought the value down. Plus, you got to think, it belonged to a...
Yeah.
And this was really weird. And I guess there's people that, do go out and get things like this. But they auctioned off a lot of the items. And I wrote down some of the ones that I thought was kind of weird. There was a camouflage tent that they auctioned off, oil drums, tools, books, ATVs, a gun safe. He had 12 vehicles. 2 of them in his garage were BMWs. So those, I'm sure, went for a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Boxing gloves, a boxing bag. His real estate signs went for $100 a piece.
Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People really just do
have
want
the
shit.
boxing gloves. Like, these are worn by a real killer, man.
Right.
A real killer. Literally.
Solar panels, a stool. This was weird, and I actually seen a picture of this, was dental tools. I'm talking about the dental tools that a dentist actually
I remember
uses.
you mentioning something about that earlier. That's so...
That's weird.
Like, what?
Post-hole
Why
diggers.
did they have that?
He's going to be Kayla's
Unless he's a cannibal, like everyone... I mean...
And then we have the last item, which was a toaster oven. And the first thing I even wrote here, feet.
That's what I said.
I would not do nothing with that toaster oven.
I know.
Or a grill. He had a grill out there too.
Toasted them toes.
Ooh.
Toasty toes.
So what about the storage container?
It's still in evidence.
Is it?
Yeah, they
It's
moved
on
it.
The tractor. I'd like to have that tractor though. That was a nice.
They
tractor.
left everything inside, like inside
that
of the
tractor.
shipping container,
Back
like
in the
everything, the
Dig a
the
hole.
bedding,
Good
everything
hole
that she
with
laid
thing.
on. There was a bucket full of snacks. They left that. The tractor was in there.
Snacks.
It was.
Did you say dig a hole?
Well, it's got a bucket on it.
Well, the thing is,
A lake.
too,
We're gonna dig a lake.
when I was looking through all the photos of the police evidence photos, every picture had some type of weapon or ammunition. And like the things that you get at Home Depot that you put in your garage, the metal shelving, he had rows and rows and rows. And I'm talking ammunition. Like, dude was...
Ammunition.
Well, and
Planets.
preppers do though. I mean, because I buy a lot of ammunition too.
Well, I
so,
know.
you
Well,
it's-
if you got this much
But he was
ammunition,
probably
I'd be
portraying
a
that.
little
but
nervous.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
He was also
you know?
hunting people and
He
fucking.
also had a lot of
The
money.
government might not let us
Mexico.
buy guns and ammo, so we might need to have it stocked
And
up.
I'm not saying nothing
nothing
about
wrong
that.
with
I'm
that.
just saying that when I seen all of that, and you
Well,
don't
and the
have
one-
it hanging over your door.
No.
You don't have it
No,
like...
but one
flashing
person
everywhere.
said that he had a gun in every room.
More
Yeah,
than
he
one
did.
gun.
Yeah,
guns.
He had
so-
one above one of the
And
door
he-
frames and
I
everything.
think the guy that's doing the biography said he sat by the window all the time in his office
and kept
so-
peeking.
Yeah,
paranoia.
like paranoid that
All the
somebody
people
was
he
going to come.
fucking killed, dude.
Yeah,
I'd be
Yeah.
paranoid as hell too.
But yeah, just looking through those crime scene photos, I mean, there was nothing gruesome, but it was just crazy. All this different, yeah.
Eerie how normal he was.
Well,
How he functioned in society so easy.
Can you imagine buying a house? You know, if you would have bought a house from him, like, oh shit, and see him on the news, and
I know, man.
he killed 4 people and
Raped
you know,
2
kept
of 'em.
one in a storage thing and killed 3 other. I mean, it's
just that we
boggles
know and
the
have
mind.
found.
And he says there are more out there, and he said they'll be digging up bodies on that property. So, I believe it was and I could be wrong. I gotta double check this, but it was a company that actually bought that property. And I could have swore I saw some kind of like what was she kept in? A container.
Shipping container.
Yeah, some kind of company like that. I could be wrong, but I know it was a company that bought that property. But could you imagine, like, buying that property and thinking, man, there could be bodies all over this place?
I'd rent a dozer.
Man, I don't know. I don't think I could buy it.
I know.
No.
I don't think I would know.
Depends on how much money I had.
But
well, and there was a lot of unanswered questions, and my thing was that he is writing a book.
he is right. Yeah.
So
he
I think
Some
a
shit'll
lot of
come out.
details he hasn't come out with because of the book.
Yeah, he wants people to buy it
I
to
think
find
he
out.
wants to go down as one of the most notorious killers. But
Yeah.
It's also, you know, it's like, I'll believe there's more when I see there's more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
When the
they said
bodies
he
start
lied about
piling
some
up,
stuff, and then they
well,
questioned
no.
whether
I believe
you know,
everything.
did
that
he
he's-
lie or was he really telling the truth?
Well, and I
So-
think if he wants to go down as one of the most serial killers, he would be telling them, "Hey, there's a body over there by that tree. There's a body over there by that pond." You know.
Like he was so blunt about Megan and what's his name, the Coxies.
But she's
Well, there for a while, he still owned that property while he was in prison because she got to go there
yeah.
and walk it.
He did own it.
Yeah.
He still owned it for a little while.
Well, he owned it until all the settlement, all the
Right.
civil
all the
suits.
shit.
yeah. And then I guess the county or whoever takes it over.
Didn't you
starts
say
selling
he
it.
bought it on a land contract
Yeah.
or something too? So he didn't actually own it.
No, he bought it
Go
on.
out.
He bought it
making
on
payments
yeah,
on it.
Like I believe it said $3,000 a month, for so many months, and then there was a balloon payment. You know, so however, and actually the person that owned that land, is still owed money, so he was part of the lawsuits against him also to get his money.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah, so
hopefully once he writes his book, everybody will get their money.
Well, honestly, because I'm sure that it's in the millions. I mean, 6.3 millions is what Kayla. Now, whether she got that or not, I could not find that out.
Yeah,
but that's what she was awarded. So, but they said they were splitting the money between the families.
For her to settle like that, she would have had to have got it to go from 363 to 6.
A lot of times you win a settlement, that doesn't mean you get the money
right away.
though.
Yeah,
like when they
especially
say
if they don't have it.
Well, and all that.
If
they don't have it, you don't get it.
The rest of his life, and
if his acreage went for $500,000 and his house, which is what he the most expensive.
There's no such thing as murderer's insurance.
$600,000. That's not even close.
And then
to
the landowner probably got his money.
And I'm sure he's got a lawyer, fees, and well, actually, I think he was his own lawyer for a lot of it. So that is the story of Todd, the American serial killer. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I think he had, obviously he had a lot of issues, but I think there's more to the story, and I think more will come out because I don't think he's done messing. I don't know if you can call it messing with people, but
destroying lives.
Yeah.
Impulsive kills.
And honestly, I hope if there is more, I hope he does so families can get their
at least
closure.
Have that heart. If any at all. God knows you don't have much of one.
Right. And he got his guns illegally, right?
Because
he was
somebody
a felon.
bought them for him.
He was.
In fact, they busted the guy that was buying them for him. His name was Dustin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
He couldn't buy guns, but this guy was buying them for him.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know the name of the guy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it said Dustin, I believe it was. In a letter, in one of the letters that he wrote to her.
I don't think there's that many more here in the United States because I think if he killed in much more than like 7 or so, I think he probably. I mean, there's just too much room for not having an eyewitness.
He did say that nobody cared about the people in Mexico. He said the only ones that people care about here is stuff like Superbike.
I think the Mexico killings were probably ones that he knew he could get away with.
Do you think that's what
he
meant?
Fed his hunger for killing people
as a sport.
And I think he is a little exaggerated in nature, but I don't think there's a ton more in the States. I think a lot more of his body count per se that he says he has is probably mainly more in Mexico.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
Hopefully, unfortunately, those families probably won't ever their justice system is fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're not gonna
investigate
it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I just want to say we appreciate. We're getting a lot of suggestions on different people to do for the podcast. So keep those coming because we will look into those. And the more deranged they are, the better.
Yes. Like, subscribe, comment, find us on Facebook, share us on Facebook.
Yep, definitely.
Don't be our next episode.
I love
Deranged
that.
Nation.
You've been listening to the Deranged Nation podcast. Join us every Wednesday night for a new episode as we bring you true crime, unsolved mysteries, and other deranged stories. This episode was sponsored by Braps MX and ATV Pro Shop. Visit them at brapsmx.pro. Also, visit our host, teresagableman.com, New York Times best-selling paranormal romance author of the Protectors series, available on amazon.com. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.